Okay, so far we've spoken about a coping saw. Now, you've not only used these in lessons on your projects, but we have spoken many times about the properties of them. Now, the key thing that defines the coping saw is obviously the gap in here that allows material to pass through it, but then this thin blade. Okay, now this thin blade that allows us to turn and cut curves. Now, what you were going to do in year 8 is you were going to actually not use this and then use this instead. Now, this is a scroll saw, okay? And if you look very closely, you might recognize the blade. It's thin and exactly the same profile as what's on the coping saw. What this essentially is an electronic coping saw. So you don't control the speed, which is why we have this safety guard. The safety guard obviously stops any wood coming up and hitting you. We also have this clamp here just to hold the wood down and stop it jumping about. But the key thing with a scroll saw is that it allows you to do everything that a coping saw does, but much faster. All right, now the danger comes is the fact that you are not in complete control. You set the speed and you set it with this dial here, okay? But once you've set the speed, you are not in control of the speed. So it does take a little bit more accuracy, a little bit more precision to operate, okay? But it is that next level of tool. We're going from the hand tools here, which is important that you understand how to use it by hand, understand the impact of going one way against the teeth and going the other way against the teeth, to then apply that same principle onto here where it is an electronic version. So this is the scroll saw. This is what you would have been using if you're in school to do it, and hopefully you'll get a chance to use it in year 9. So to operate the scroll saw, what we have to do is it's almost like a space shuttle launch. There's so many different buttons that we have to press. You actually come to this unit here first of all and you press this green button. Now what this does is this activates the extraction unit at the bottom. Now the extraction unit actually comes out here, all right? What this does is, first of all, this blows air to move it all away, but then you can see it's got this gap in here is where the saw goes, and sawdust drops down and is sucked out by this vent here, okay? And it goes all down this pipe and then into this extraction unit here to remove any excess sawdust. So it's blown down and in to the extraction unit. We then have the safety switches on here. Actually, if you pull this back and lift it up, you can then see the next step to press this green button here. Once you've pressed that, you've then primed and readied the scroll saw. And all you need to do is press this white button here to actually start the blade. Because this is a power tool, you must make sure that you're wearing both your apron to keep all loose clothing back, but also some safety goggles. When we're not in control of the speed, we must wear safety goggles. So, we press the green button and you can hear the extraction unit starting up. We make sure that our safety guard is down. We press the green button on here and then finally press the white button under here. That has now started the scroll saw, and as I adjust the speed, we can either make it faster or we can make it much slower, depending on the job that we need to do. To turn it off, we simply repeat the process, pressing the various switches to make it nice and safe. We have a safety area that's marked out because there should be no more than one person at each scroll saw. We have a bench of 3, and it's really important that we only have one person operating this piece of machine at a time, because if anybody slips or is nudged, that's when this can become dangerous, especially when guiding your wood around the saw blade here.